Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Coming to America. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. One of the reasons Donald Trump won the presidency is that millions of Americans now believe they are being conned on immigration. Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party had absolutely no interest in being responsible on the issue of people traveling to the USA illegally, or even protecting Americans from vicious foreign criminals already here. In fact, the far left wing of the Democratic Party actually wants open borders and blanket amnesty for the undocumented living all across the country. Never mind, that would create a dangerous security nightmare and run up far more government debt. Liberal zealotry sees America as a nation driven by white privilege and wants to flood the USA with new citizens. The fewer restraints, the better. And it doesn't matter that Hillary Clinton might not be that extreme. She put forth no vision on immigration other than the status quo, which has been a colossal failure. Thus, Trump's tough guy approach to enforcing immigration law propelled his campaign, despite the unending charges of racism that came his way. So now the question becomes, what is a fair policy in this most emotional of arenas? For that, return to Australia, a nation of about 24 million people, but with a land mass almost exactly the same as America's. And we have 325 million people. So there's plenty of room to roam down under. Australia has a stone-cold policy on illegal entry. If you're caught, you are forcibly taken by the Aussie military to remote locations in the South Pacific, where you can either sit for years or to be deported home. Australia accepts less than 15,000 migrants a year on a humanitarian basis. Recently announced it would take 12,000 Syrian refugees on top of that, but even more recently, the Obama administration said it would take more than 2,000 refugees currently languishing in the South Pacific, human beings that Australia refuses to bring to its mainland. Now, my question is, why not? Why won't the Aussies take these poor people? Surely desperate people in South Asia, or Central America for that matter, deserve sympathy. During my time in El Salvador, I visited folks who were actually living in caves. Dogs in America have more comforts. Judeo-Christian philosophy compels its followers to embrace the poor, and it seems that rejecting asylum seekers and migrants goes against that tenet. Thus, the far left demonizes those who call for restrictions on illegal immigration, saying they're bad people. That's what the sanctuary city movement's all about. But you don't hear much condemnation of Australia. And inside that country, both political parties, liberals and conservatives, support the tough immigration laws. There's little moral debate. By the way, if Perth, for example, declared itself a sanctuary city, they have big trouble with the Aussie military, which, as I stated, actually enforces immigration law. And a general reports directly to the government in Canberra. Australians generally believe that undocumented migrants destabilize their country and put themselves at grave physical risk by crossing oceans to get down under. Also, Aussie politics have created a generous welfare state that works for a small population. That entitlement culture would be overwhelmed and go broke if mass illegal immigration was accepted, as it has been here in the USA. Simply put, Australians do not want the enormous disruption that immigration chaos causes. So, they're sending more than 2,000 poor souls here. Folks, they should assimilate, and Barack Obama is happy to take them. Are we chumps, or are we the most compassionate nation on earth? President Trump will have his hands full trying to figure out how to get things under control on the immigration front. Here is what Talking Points recommends: a moratorium on refugees for 1 year until Trump's new Homeland Security Department can reorganize and set up intense vetting procedures. Right now, under the Obama administration, the feds cannot properly investigate refugees who want to come here. The system is broken. All undocumented people already here must register with the feds at their local post offices within 6 months. It becomes a felony if they fail to do that, and immediate deportation if they're caught unregistered. By the way, we told you very early on in the presidential campaign that mass deportations would not take place if Donald Trump were elected president. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan confirmed that yesterday.
We're not working on a deportation force. Here's what we're working on with respect to immigration: securing our border, enforcing our current laws. He talked about criminal aliens. Well, that's just enforcing laws for people who came here illegally, who came and committed violent crimes. We should enforce those laws.
Once the federal government knows how many undocumented people are here and their circumstance, a fair system of evaluating migrants can then take place, right? On the borders, all of them, caught trying to enter illegally will be bussed back into Mexico or Canada after being fingerprinted. Second offense, 6 months in jail. Bang. 6 months. Then another bus ride. A congressional mandate on how many foreign nationals should be allowed into America each year should be agreed upon. Let's get a number. And that number should be generous. But legal papers have to be renewed every year. And actual citizenship will have to be earned over a substantial period of time. A new law that suspends all federal transportation money to individual states that tolerate sanctuary cities must be passed by Congress. Must. Texas, now in the process of outlawing sanctuary cities, punishing them financially. Every state should do that. And if California says no, finance your own infrastructure. Same with all other defiant states. No money for transportation. Nothing from the federal government. You'll see how fast they change. Finally, build effective barriers along the southern border using the Army Corps of Engineers. The barriers designed to stop the flow of people and drugs illegally into this country. Come on, enough's enough. If I could help every poor person and abused person in the world, I would, but I can't. So I do what I can without making things worse by supporting policies that hurt the country at large. Australia has figured this out. We can too. And that's a memo.